Pluto or Hades was a place, that's what it looked like it would have been like, right? So I wanted to come and make this recording and talk about that. Um, so the other night, I actually did talk about that 29 degrees of Capricorn. But tonight, I'm here with something different. I want to talk about 28 degrees of Capricorn because, as I mentioned, we are retrograding right now. Pluto is retrograding, right? So I am a follower of the degrees. I believe they have as much as all other interpretations, especially in Western astrology. And so I wanted to make sure that we discuss what 28 degrees of Capricorn means, because the Pluto is going backwards, and although it goes very, very slow, it has moved out of 29 degrees and into 28 degrees. And the crazy thing is, because it's a retrograde, we're going to have to go back over these degrees all over again. Now, I think it might get down to 27 degrees by the time it comes back. But I know it's supposed to bounce back starting October, either September or October, but it will take that long, from then till January to get back to Aquarius. So 28 degrees of Capricorn. I'm going to take a sip of water and then we are going to discuss this thoroughly, because I think it holds bearing over much of what is occurring in real life. That's why I like to look at things like the degrees and how it's because I believe it is affecting us. So let's look at this, okay? Just a second here. 28 degrees of Capricorn. Now this always gives it in the tone of if you were a person with this degree, but we're going to look at this for all of us because we're all experiencing 28 degrees of Capricorn right now, because that's where Pluto is retrograding. So 28 degrees of Capricorn, a native of this degree seems to be heavily burdened with something. Heavily burdened with something. I want to stop just here. So I want to let people know, if you feel in any shape or form that you have been, or you currently are, heavily burdened with something, I just want you to know that you're not crazy and that you're most likely not alone, because this is an all-pervading feeling. When Pluto is making its trek through these degrees, they mean something, because it sits in a degree for such a long period of time. And so it begins to color how we think, how we feel, what's going on internally. So it seems to be that they're heavily burdened with something, which prevents him from having the freedom other people enjoy. So whatever this burden is, it's somewhere where it's making you feel that it's preventing you from having the freedom that other people feel. And I sense this in me, because if you had listened to my 29 degrees of Capricorn, and I did actually shorten that down so that you can listen to that on YouTube, and I might upload it to gregarious1.com as well. But, I discussed 29 degrees and how it's all happening in my first house. Having Pluto in your first house, I mean, yeah, the self-discovery is one thing, but I mean, it really does make you dig down in there, it's very niche. And I've got Saturn in the first house by birth, so no one wants to deal with all of that. It's just not pretty, guys. It's not. Okay, so anyway, this burden, back to the burden again, this burden usually takes the form of some kind of responsibility, which may be some great honor. I'm going to repeat that. This burden usually takes the form of some kind of responsibility, which may be some kind of great honor. But it's a burden because it is a great responsibility. I don't know how it is for everybody. Like I said, this is all pervading, but it is a great responsibility of some kind. At any rate, he's dependable and reliable. So that's good and can be counted on to chart a steady course for those who depend on him. So this is great for, anyone who is, especially if you are a Capricorn. Like in my case, I'm a Capricorn with Capricorn rising. This is happening in my first house. This gives me so much hope that if I'm dependable and reliable and I could be counted on, the chart, the course for those around. Wait a minute. Can be counted on to chart a steady course for those who depend on him. Now, I love that. To me, that's code word. Chart a steady course for those who depend on him. And as an astrologer, maybe that is a code for me as I do charts, that's what I really need to get around to. And chart that steady course for those who depend on me, right? Anyway, he's guided by strict and precise thinking, which is unerringly brings him to his destination. So that's great. This may be more literally true in the native should, this may be literally true if the native should be involved in navigation. So let me read that again. He is guided by strict and precise thinking. So in other words, I think they're saying that let strict and precise thinking be your guide. Like me going back now and going into the details of 28 degrees of Capricorn. This is strict, precise thinking as an astrologer. I want to get down to the bottom of this, and especially how it affects me, a Capricorn rising person, having this happen inside of my first house on my south node. I should also mention my south node is at 29 degrees. So anyway, this strict and precise thinking, it will bring you to your destination. And it's important that you purposely make sure you're going in the direction you want to go in, okay? He is usually ambitious and seeks the responsibility he finds himself saddled with. So it's something, if the heavy burden of responsibility, you're happy that you got it, you wanted it, and now you got it, okay? Most probably do not realize anything desirable about the freedom they so willingly give up. So, most probably do not realize anything desirable about the freedom they so willingly give up. So it's people are willing to give up this freedom, even though it's a burden. They willingly give it up. It makes me think about my daughter. She's running for Seattle City Council. What a heavy burden it is. I had saw the way the Seattle Times had put it, like the race was so close between her and Neil conceded like Tuesday night. We knew Christiana was in second place, but that's the way people are. It's a heavy burden. And so we may see stuff like that happening, or it's a heavy responsibility, but it's something they willingly give up because it means so much more in the long run, and it has a deeper meaning to it. Most probably, they don't realize what they've given up, but they have sufficient ability for success in whatever they assume responsibility for. And I love that. They have sufficient ability for success in whatever they assume responsibility for. So first of all, can I just point out that the undercurrent of all of Capricorn 28 is responsibility. I think we can all get down to that. it is about taking responsibility and navigating your future by taking that responsibility, having precise thinking, and knowing where you're going. And I really have been dealing with that. I'm always telling a personal story, and I'm going to do it now, and then I'll stop. But I was in a master class today, and something happened. There was a gentleman in the class, and it's a master class. We all get to talk. So usually I'm pretty patient because this person likes to hog up all of the time. Now, the crazy thing, this is a paid. I didn't pay much for it. I mean, it pretty much gifted to me. But it's a paid type of situation where getting knowledge that this man usually charges like $2,500 like a session for. And the fact that there's somebody hogging up his attention, even to the point of talking over the presenter, it gets on my nerves. But today, when the presenter was talking about me, basically, and what I need to do in order to monetize my business as an astrologer, because he's got great ideas and I want to implement them. So I was really all ears, really. I wanted to hear what he had to say, and this guy kept interrupting, and then he said something, in my opinion, that was racist, which was about black book, black book writers and a certain percentage or whatever. And I got so insulted because I'm like, do you understand that I run a group of 26,000 black women? 26,000. I would say at least 5,000 of which have written a book. So who are you talking to, man? Why would you interrupt with that? I don't need that right now. It's something that is way beyond any. I feel right now, and I got Power to the Stars available right at astrology.lookinside.com. I write ebooks. Don't come to me talking about black women writing ebooks or books on app for Amazon or being #1 sellers. That's what almost all black women do. Like, he's going to talk to a black woman and tell me about the facts and figures when he's talking to the black woman. Like, dude, what are you doing? I don't need you to quote me figures that I'm a part of. Stop. It was insulting to me. Then he got insulted because I said, what are you doing? You're trying to dictate that to a black woman. Like, I don't know. And he was like, are you trying to insinuate something about the racism? Like, look, Scottish man, I don't give a flying F. I don't care. You're interrupting everything. Just pretty much, I just left the whole meeting. I just left. Like, I don't need that. Why would he even interject that? Why did he have to say black anything? Then on top of that, he interjected with something that was like old news to me. Well, if you look back further enough, you could probably see where I did an entire like week of interviews with some artists, black writers. I mean, it's upsetting, and that person doesn't realize what they did was a racist thing. I didn't need to know about a statistic about black folks. I am part of the statistic, dude. Why would you come to me with that mess? So yes. Now that was a Gemini, open mouth, insert foot. And Gemini had open mouth, insert foot moment. And I let them know, keep that foot in your mouth and I'm going to leave. I might have cursed them out. I was very close to it. But, the Sun and Venus are almost on my Mars right now. And the North Node is trying my Mars. And I wouldn't mess with my Mars and Leo. Venus is almost on it right now. It just wants to curse people out anyway. So, I'm just saying. The opportunity to do so arose, and I just about. I wanted to say some of the stuff I said. It's just crazy, but I had to say it. Sometimes you just can't. You just can't be quiet. And I said, I'm sorry, but I could not learn a thing. This is what I said to the presenter. I could not learn a thing with blank talking all over you. talking freaking gibberish. I hopefully get to hear the point you wanted to make in the replay. Deepest apologies, but I will not tolerate that man talking over everything anymore. Even when you were talking about what I do, he jumped in there, interjecting unnecessary things that had nothing to do with what you were trying to say. Perhaps with me gone, you were able to say what you were prepared to say. And then he replied back, I understand it wasn't very professional. And then the other person had, I guess, tried to say some things to me, which, I did not want to, something about the races and all that stuff. I was not even going for the bait. And I just simply said, WTF, does that have to do with you talking over me, over Danny, taking over the conversation with useless BS? I couldn't even hear what Danny wanted to say, which I am sure would have been golden to my ears. But you couldn't just shut up, just for once, and let that man do his job. So just stop it. Enough is enough. And then my brother said, love you, sis. Oh, he saw my lemon trees. I'm so proud of my lemon trees. Anyway, that's what happened today. Everybody, and I have Aquarius in the first house. I had said to Danny, who was the presenter, I said his name, sorry. I said to the presenter that this person has Aquarius, they're Aquarius 1. And, we just had 8 Golden Gate. I mean, Lionsgate is the golden time of Leo. It's opposite Aquarius. Anyone with Aquarius rising, you would have been feeling this really deeply. And things are not going to loosen up until after the 12th. So I wouldn't make any decisions if I was an Aquarius rising. I would hold things off to the 12th and then start then, just wait until after Saturday. So maybe, hold your appointment Monday, something like that. Okay. So if you do that, it's going to be much better for you. And see, even myself, look what happened to me because, I've got Aquarius intercepted my first house. My Mercury is there. My chart ruler is Saturn and is in Aquarius, my chart ruler. And so it was not good. I can be very Saturn. I got Saturn in the first house. I'm a double Capricorn. My chart ruler is Saturn. I am Saturn. That's what they call Saturn. I will call you out for your BS. You're not pulling any issue. I will call it out. And I don't like playing games. Geminis like to play games. And, I just looked the moon at 5 degrees in Gemini, which is in my 5th house, playing games. I just had to call it out. I don't like that. Geminis like to play games. And let me tell you something about 28 degrees of Capricorn. That would break down to a 1. That means it's a Capricorn. Capricorn is very Capricornian in nature. And if anything, it's myself. I was born with Capricorn rising. Basically, it's me. And Capricorn with Capricorn rising. It's very Saturnian, it's very mature. It wants to do the mature thing. It doesn't want to play games. It wants to take on that responsibility. It wants to do it right. And it wants to climb to whatever it's climbing to because it's ambitious. Just like what I read about that degree. That's pretty much myself. Now, I do feel that I need help. Just like most astrologers, I struggle with making money online. I shouldn't say it. I don't want to say it in the universe. So, pop up or potential clear delete. And I am a multimillionaire because I'm putting that into the universe and saying it more and more and more. I'm a multimillionaire. I can actually feel being a multimillionaire. I can envision it. I can actually feel the breeze on my skin when I'm in my house with the glass looking out over the ocean. I can feel my partner when he puts his arms around me. I can feel my future of being a multimillionaire as though it is real in my existence right at this very moment. And when someone is negative and playing games and they're just messing with your energy, I will call that BS out. I am not quiet. I am not a pushover because I'm spiritual. You will not step on me. Don't tread on me ever. Don't forget I have Scorpio up in the 10th house, and don't tread on me is my motto. You think you're going to walk on me? You'll pick the wrong person. Because I will let you know. Snap my fingers and turn on my heel, swing my hair in your face, and back on away. Don't mess with me. And it doesn't mean I'm not a good person. It just means I'm real. And I keep it 100. And you're not going to step on. I'm not going to allow it. And if I sense any of that childishness, I will call you out on your childishness. Anything that man had to say to me could have been said outside of that live event. And that presenter was doing his job. And that's my point. He had no right to do what he did. It was not his presentation. It was someone else's. He was in the middle of it. How embarrassing. Talk about not being able to control the room. I felt really bad for the person who was holding the event. And for myself, because I never got to hear what the man had to say. It was actually getting good. He was making a great point. Have you ever been in a situation like that? And there's this one person that just wants to hog all the freaking air in the room. How Gemini. This is probably a Gemini who's got some really bad angles. And I don't got time to take care or babysit that. That has to grow up on its own accord. And he had said something about me doing a reading for him, but I would do that probably in a video, because I'm not going to be spending my time back and forth with that guy. That would be exhausting to me. And he couldn't pay me enough. Because emotional energy is real. I don't know if y'all know that. Energy is real. When I say somebody's stealing your energy, I mean that. When you sense someone is stealing your energy, you get the heck off. You know what I did? I had leave the meeting and left that meeting post days without a word to it. The moment that guy started raising it, he was taking it to a place where I was like, you're not stealing any more of my energy. Go get your own. He already said from his own mouth he had his teeth extracted, like earlier today or something. So, he's in Scotland, so it's in the middle of the night. The man's in pain. You know what I'm not? I'm not someone's punching bag when they're in pain. That's what I'm not. Take your crazy thoughts and take them somewhere else. Hopefully, whatever happened today, it did two things. It gave Danny the voice to know that other people, because I'm sure he felt it, that his meeting was getting out of his control, and that other people can tell when the other man is taking over his meeting. So if he was thinking he was imagining that, now he knows he was not imagining that the other guy was really stealing and taking all the time and energy of the meeting. The other thing is the other guy knows that he better not mess with me, because I will call him out. And also, I'm on to what he's doing. I'm an astrologer. I can tell Gemini antics when I see Gemini antics. They're the most hated sign of the zodiac. Of course, me as a Capricorn is the second most hated sign of the zodiac. So of course I tell him. I will not allow that. That's horrible, but it's true. Some people just have their, in a paid meeting like that, you don't want to hear someone else's. Like, I can sit here and tell you about the dentist and the teeth, and he even held his teeth up. I kid you not. This is what I tolerated today. I did. He held the teeth up. I think it was a plate. I don't know. It was. Oh my God! What a day! What a day! I'm telling you. Oh, and that was the serious part of my life, not the astrology. Oh God. Anyway, I think anyone who has actually listened to me did this. And if you've ever been in a situation where you just feel like you'll burst if you just don't come out and say something, like it's just eating at you. You have to say "shut up" or something. Right? I forget how I said it, but I said it like a black woman. I did. It's like, what the H are you talking about? Ain't nobody talking to you about that. I really did go off. I'm sorry. I did not realize that Mars and the Sun were sitting on, Venus and the Sun were sitting on my Mars. I had no idea that my Mars was activated like that. Oh, it's seventh house. My Mars is in Leo in the seventh house. Nobody wants Mars and Leo in the seventh house. It's so much. It's so bad. Mars and Leo in the seventh house is so bad, you guys. Because whether or not I want enemies or don't want enemies, they want to come mess with me. I wasn't messing with that man. That man had nothing to do with me. They come for me all the time. There's always an open enemy for someone with Mars in the seventh house, but especially when you got Leo Mars in the seventh house, because you know I'm going to be flamboyant, right? You know I'm not going to hide. Mars and the Leo in the first place, I'm going to hide, but in the seventh house, that's a look at me Mars. Like, I'm here. Who's that? It doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm a part of everything. Who is that? That's the lady who runs everything. That's who she is. That's the Mars and Leo woman. What is the event? I don't know that Mars and Leo over there. She created that event. That's her event. Whose group is that? That's her group. What's going on? That, it's all about her. And I try not to be that girl, that Mars and Leo girl, but I am her. I mean, it is part of me. And so I got my own issues. I already know what they are. I got it. It's just slightly off of a fixed grand square. I'm a super grand triangle, Earth grand triangle, beautiful. But the thing is, I got limits. And I got Neptune on the midheaven, so I appear to be so much sweeter and calmer and nicer and gentler. I am a Capricorn tiger. They are not good. Capricorn tigers are vicious because you never see them coming. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. It is almost 30 minutes. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Much love, much light, many blessings. Capricorntigress, our astrology.